and welcome to Books Unbound, the podcast where we unbind books to get to their hearts with your hosts. Us, it's Ariel and
Raeleen. Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the middle of summer.
Oh my gosh.
It's hot. It's sunny. It's reading.
That's a good slogan for summer.
Thanks. Boy, oh boy, it's been a while for us since we recorded. It's been like 3 weeks.
At least, yeah. We had a nice little mini vacation. People were asking about our summer vacation, and we did take a small one, so.
Yeah, we kind of recorded our last episode earlier so that we could take a little bit of a break, and we've been busy. Mm-hmm. We've been all over the place.
Goodness, like and we haven't talked either, so I don't really know everything you've done, and you don't know everything I've done.
No, we've been like running around like crazy, and every time we check in, you're like sending me photos of wolves and things, and I'm like, what? Where is she? And then I'm sending you pictures of me in bumper cars. What a life.
Yeah.
I feel like, summer, we're in the thick of it. In fact, I'm starting to feel like we're in the second half.
It definitely feels that way to me. I feel like summer's going by too fast. It always does, you know? It always feels like you kind of waste your July a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's August, and you're like, but
September is only weeks away.
Yeah. Although I've started to feel that September is kind of part of summer in my mind. Because it's still so hot in September.
It's so hot. It's so hot.
It kind of counts. And it's not fall yet.
It's always been that way. Because I remember, so when I went to high school, I went to a Catholic high school. That is a story for another time. But my high school had a uniform because it was a Catholic school. And we had a normal uniform, which was a white button-up shirt with a kilt and tights.
Okay.
And then we had a summer, a variant that you didn't have to use if you didn't want to, but you had the option of wearing a green polo t-shirt and like little khaki safari shorts.
Amazing. It sounds like you work at the zoo.
Yes, we all looked like zookeepers, 100%. But I remember every single year us begging the teachers if we could please wear our summer uniforms in September. Because it was too hot to be in tights, a kilt, and a long sleeve button-up shirt in September. It's still hot.
It really is.
It's still hot. Anyway, that's funny that memory just came to me.
I love that.
It's hot in September, but we're definitely, we're recording this on August 11th. Mm-hmm. So we're partway through August already. We're in the dog days. Is that what that means? You know what? I've always wanted to know what that means.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
What does dog days of summer mean? The hottest, most humid weeks of the summer season, traditionally tracked by the Old Farmer's Almanac. This, which I remember was a big deal this year because they stopped printing it for the first time in like 200 years or something. Anyway, 100. This 40-day period runs every year from July 3rd to August 11th.
Wait, so today's the last day of the dog days of summer?
Today's the last day of the dog days of summer.
Oh my God.
So that definitely does mean we're at the end, like we've moved
dog
into
days
the final
are over.
act. Wow.
Hang on.
That's so cool.
That's exciting. You know what else is exciting?
That is exciting.
About today? It's my 4-year wedding anniversary today. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It zoomed by. It really
did.
And
it's funny because my first year anniversary is in 5 days.
Oh my gosh, that's true. They're so close together. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's
Which
nice.
I guess I actually haven't ever thought about. I've never thought about how they're that close together because obviously we got married 4 years apart. Or three years apart or whatever. And so it feels like a completely different time. But you're right. It's in the same week.
Aw. Cuties. I actually know a lot of people,
cute.
like even parents of friends and stuff are like, oh, I got married on August 10th. I got married on August 11th as well. Or like this week is like a really hot wedding week.
That's so fun. Yeah. Well, we picked the coolest time to get married.
The end of dog days.
The end of the dog days.
That's why we did it.
When are you getting married? I'm thinking dog days. I'm thinking I want to get married during the dog days.
I want to remember the dog days next summer. Next time it comes around, I'm going to put that on my calendar. When do the dog days start?
I know. That's so cool.
I love it.
Speaking of like the universe, there's supposed to be a meteor shower tonight.
Oh my God. I know. I've actually put that on my calendar. I literally wrote down, look out for fireballs, because that was the warning I saw. It was like, you might see fireballs in the sky. And I was like, well, I gotta see that if I can.
Yeah.
I might not be able to, though, because the sky is so foggy and smoky already.
I know. So. It's been like a weird weather day here. Well, not weird, but just like sometimes sunny, sometimes cloudy. So I'm hoping the clouds stay away. I want to see the meteor shower.
Yeah,
or maybe that's tomorrow night. I don't remember.
It might be tomorrow, but it's soon. It's after the dog days. That's all I know.
After the dog days. To celebrate the end of the dog days, we get a meteor shower.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we've been having a fun summer, though, right? Have you been busy? I mean, you have been busy. I know you've been busy.
I have been so busy. So before I launch into every single thing I've done, I have an announcement to make for the people. And Ariel has known about this for a while. We've just been keeping it hush-hush because I was stressed and scared. I'm moving again. And not only am I moving, I'm moving back home to BC, which I am so excited about. I can't even put into words how excited I am to go back. So I won't. But that's my story. Honestly, I might start crying if I start talking about it. That's how excited I am. So, yeah. That's what's happening. And as you can see, everything behind me has been taken down. So it's happening soon. Very soon, in fact. It's happening in 3-4 days, something like that. So I have been very, very busy with packing and making arrangements and doing all sorts of things. This is definitely the craziest move I've ever done, because not only are we moving to another province again, we don't have anyone helping us this time. Last time we had movers who did everything, and it was fantastic. And we had friends helping with loading, doing other things and stuff. This time it's literally just Kyle and I, and we will have help on the other end, but it's going to be just the two of us loading up a big truck and driving it all the way back home.
Hitting the road.
Yeah, and speaking of the drive, I'm actually quite nervous about it because of all the wildfires that are happening.
Yeah.
There are wildfires in many places in Canada, but there are a lot in BC right now, and I'm going to have to drive in between at least 8 of them, which is really scary. So everyone wish me luck.
We're wishing you luck, and we're wishing everyone that's affected by the fires luck. It's been a really crazy fire season.
Lots of evacuations already.
A lot of evacuations, yeah. I feel like, obviously, we've talked about the climate before, and it's just like every year you're just like, how could the world make it clearer that climate change is real and happening? I don't know, what would a clear signal
for no reason. For good reason, but shouldn't be happening.
It's just devastating, but I'm sure that your move is going to go well. It's been so exciting. Raeleen, kind of started making moves on this quite a while ago now, but when you told me about the concept or whatever, I was just like, this is awesome. Yeah. I just know you're going to be so happy back home and stuff, so woohoo!
Yeah. Yep, it's gonna be great. So that's my major big update. And but what about you? What have you been up to lately as well? I've got so many things to say. So
I know. I sat down at my desk earlier today. I was like, okay, I'm gonna write down the things that I want to talk about to the podcast. And I started writing down everything I've done. And I was like, nope. I'm not going to talk about all of this. It's too much. It's too much. It's been really good and busy, but in a way where I'm like, I'm going to bore people just being like, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. So here are some highlights. First off, obviously, came back from seeing you. That was obviously a huge highlight, and we did talk about that a lot in the last few episodes. Also, actually, kind of a fun fact. The reason we snuck that visit in and booked it so last minute was because Raeleen realized, we're going to do this move and we're going to do it. Now we have a date and it's going to be this month. And we were like, okay, wait, if I want to visit you in Calgary, I got to go now.
Exactly.
And so we booked the trip time short notice.
Was happening. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. There was a big debate over, do we have a visit in Calgary? Do we have a visit in BC? Which one do we want to do? Because one funny thing too about you and I is that, like you've mentioned before, we visit each other kind of back and forth, and somehow it just didn't work out for you to see our little house before we moved away from it. And I thought you would never get to see it, but now we're moving back into it, so you'll get to see it one day. So
yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it all worked out.
But I came back from that trip and I had 5 days until I went to Newfoundland.
Crazy.
So this was a trip that had been planned a year ago because we were going for a wedding. So we had been invited to a wedding of some of our friends, and it was me, CJ, and Connor who were all invited to go to the wedding. And we were like, okay, well, Connor's never been to Newfoundland. Me and CJ had been, but only once, since we were excited to go back. And we're going for the wedding. Let's make it a bigger trip. Like, let's really do Newfoundland. So we went for nearly 2 weeks.
Wow.
And we took the ferry. So we drove to Cape Breton to North Sydney. And we took the 7-hour ferry from there to Port au Basque. And on the way there, I don't know if I've talked about this on the pod. I'm sure it's come up because we've talked about everything. But I'm a very motion sick person. And so I was very nervous about the boat. But on the way up, it was totally fine. Like, I didn't feel nauseous at all, which was good. Surprising. And then once we got to Newfoundland, it was a 9-hour drive to where we were staying. But we knew that, and because you can take there's another ferry that gets you closer to the capital city, but it's a 15-hour boat ride.
Oh my God.
And we were CJ is also quite motion sick, and so we were both like, we want to do the 7-hour ferry.
Yeah.
7 hour. We'll do the 9-hour drive.
Ferry.
It's fine. But also because Connor had never been and stuff, we were like, it'll be so fun to just do a long drive and see lots of the little towns. And so, yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so funny because it's very close to Nova Scotia. But it's such a different landscape. Like, it's very mountainous, very rocky. I mean, what people call it here, the nickname for it is the Rock. Like, if you're like, where are you from? And they're like, the Rock. You know that they're from Newfoundland because it's super rocky and cliffy and really beautiful in lots of ways. We talked about this, which is interesting. When CJ and I went there the first time, we had been living in BC.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you're comparing it to that.
This time when we went, we were like, yes, it is different, but it's very similar to Nova Scotia in a lot of ways as well. Like, the architecture is very similar and all those sorts of things, and so it still felt like being in the Atlantic provinces, but just with a kind of a different background. So we were there. We stayed in the most beautiful place ever, and so basically, long story short, Raeleen, when we found out that we were invited to this wedding, I started looking into artist residencies because I've always wanted to do that. I'm like, that's a cool guy move. And so I applied, the three of us applied to this artist residency, and we got accepted.
Oh my God.
And so our trip was this artist residency where we were there to write. All three of us were working on different writing projects. We stayed in this beautiful house that was on the water, and I kid you not, from the window we saw whales.
We saw
3 whales. On one day I saw 1 whale, and then on another day we saw 2 whales, and it was just like it felt like we were in paradise.
Yeah.
It felt like we were in paradise.
I understand that.
It was the prettiest place I ever stayed, and we did so much writing, which was so much fun. Also, CJ found a place nearby, like this pond that was 3 minutes away that I could swim in. And it's just like the best summer vacation of my life, honestly.
That's so sick. I'm really glad you got to do that.
Thank you. It had a really good mixture of like, I would wake up late and I would read in the morning and have my coffee and look out the window, and then I would be really productive. I wrote more than 15,000 words while I was there, which I'm really excited about. But I would be productive, but then like we'd all go out for lunch, and then, do you know what I mean? Like, it was my perfect vacation.
Like a productive, relaxing.
It was productive,
so nice.
but relaxing. I've like never had such a perfect balance before.
That's gorgeous.
Plus, we went to the wedding, so we stayed in St. John's for a night, and oh my God, we danced the night away. So that was
as you should.
That was really fun. So then we got back, and we had one day before my sister-in-law came to visit for 11 days.
Wow.
And her visit was so beautiful. We had so much fun. Took her all over, did all sorts of things, like going to the country fair where I did the bumper cars twice.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Went swimming more, and like just lots of just being summer, you know, just summering. We were summering. That's what we were doing.
That's what you were doing.
And had a great time with her. I love her so much, and it was so fun to have her visit. And then she left on Sunday, and today is Tuesday.
Oh my God. So you're just back now.
I'm just back. It feels like it's been a month basically, because like it was like visiting you, back for a few days, going to Newfoundland one day, Maureen visits for like 10 days, and then yesterday I was like, who am I? I forgot. I'm like, what do I do? Who am I? I like getting my bearings yesterday. I felt really sleepy and I felt really like disoriented, and I would like open up my emails and want to cry. I was like, no, it's okay. I got this. But yeah, now we're back, and I'm actually like, you know, when you have too much fun.
Yeah. It's time to go back to normal a little bit.
I'm excited to be back to normal. So that's a big summer update from me.
Hell
How about you? Other than what you've already told us, you've been up to a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, I've had a few fun little activities that I've done. So sadly, I have not swam in a lake or anything yet, but we did go to a swimming pool.
Okay, wait, I take it all back. That's awesome.
I went swimming once. I've been swimming once this summer. It's just been like so busy, and like all the lakes are so far away that it's just like difficult. When I move back to BC, it's actually gonna be so amazing. We have plans. We're like, can we go to the lake like the day after we move? And Kyle's like, yeah, I think we have to do that. Like it's so it's already like just the environment is gonna be top notch. But anyway, Calgary's still good in its own ways. But we went to a swimming pool, and I went on the fastest water slide I've ever gone on at a swimming pool. It was so funny. You had to like climb this spiral staircase to get to the top because it was really high up. And then I'm like, all right, let's go down this water slide. And the first time I went down it, I was like, you know, you can lay down to go really fast. I was like, I feel like I'm going too fast. I'm going to sit up just to get my bearings. And I was like, that was pretty good. I think I want to try again, but faster. And so I did it again. Laid down the whole way, and when I came out the bottom of the water slide, I fully did a backflip because I was going so fast. I was like, and Kyle was just like spectating, and he was like, "What happened?"
That's
so
awesome.
That was really fun. It was really high octane. I really enjoyed that moment. So wanted to give that swimming pool a shout out.
So cool.
Yeah, it was sick. And then after that though, so not this past weekend, but last weekend, we were like, it's coming up close to moving time. If there's any other like bucket list things we want to get done, we got to start doing them. So I've had this list for months now, and we've been like ticking things off here and there, but I was like, okay, we got to pick our top 4 things and get them done in the next 2 weekends.
That's really smart.
Last weekend we went back to Peyto Lake, which was actually where we took our wedding photos 4 years ago. Yeah. So funny that it's now our anniversary day. So I'll put some photos here because it was beautiful. It was so gorgeous, but it was such a zoo there. So if anybody ever wants to go, I highly recommend waking up at 4 a.m. to get there early, genuinely, because we went at it was like 1 p.m. when we got there, and we had to do some crazy stuff to get a spot to park. We were not parked in a parking lot, I'll tell you that much. We were doing crazy things. We were just wilding out. We walked up, we got to the viewpoint, we stayed there for about 4 minutes, and then we're like, we got to get out of here before we get towed. Like, we've got to go. So it's a really far drive, and it's beautiful. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, when you got married, like when you got your pictures taken, you did go really early, right?
Yeah. So for our wedding, because the place, it's like past Banff. So Banff is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Calgary. And then you just have to keep going up a mountain to get to where this lake is. And so we wanted sunrise photos, so naturally we had to leave at like 3 a.m. on our wedding day. So it was a really crazy day because it took like 3 hours to get there. So we got there around 6 a.m., took our photos, got married at 8, and then we went about our day from there.
Right. So it wasn't busy when you got married.
No, there was no one there. There was no one there. So I do highly recommend that. Don't go in the middle of the day. It was so crazy. We wanted to visit Bow Lake, which is where we actually got married. It's very close to Peyto Lake. But it was like, this isn't worth it. We've just got to get home. And people drive like maniacs out here. Everyone was zooming to try and get to... Clearly, everyone was trying to get to the same places. And it was really scary. Yeah. I was just happy to get home. But it was really nice to go back there because we haven't been back there since the day we got married. And so it's just as beautiful as it was that day. So highly recommend checking it out if anybody is visiting the Rockies area. So that was really fun. Oh, another thing, it snowed while we were up there.
That's so crazy.
It was bonkers. So that day it was like 25 or 28 degrees in Calgary, but up on the mountain it was like 5 degrees, and we literally were seeing sprinkles of snow. We were so like, nice. This is crazy. Like, we were dressed in shorts. Kyle was really cold. It was funny. It was kind of a funny experience, actually, because we were like, guys, it's summer. What's happening? But then the only other really exciting thing I've done recently was this past weekend, like 3 days ago now. Kyle and I went to a wolf dog sanctuary. So there's this wolf dog sanctuary just outside of Calgary in a town called Cochrane, and we've been wanting to go there. as you can imagine, for a very long time because we both love animals and we thought it would be a really cool thing to do. I'm actually wearing a shirt from there right now.
Oh, fun.
I bought merch. I also bought a hat. I had the best time at this place.
That's so great.
There's 3 different options that you can do when you go there. You can pay like a very small fee to just walk around, and like it's kind of like a zoo. Like they have all these enclosures and you can just go like look at the wolf dogs.
Yeah.
Or you can do kind of a level 1 tour, I guess, where they like guide you around and probably give you some more information, or you can do the interactive one, which is what we did, of course. It cost a bit of money, but it was very, very worth it.
That's awesome.
Because we got to go into 2 different wolf dog enclosures, and with the first one, we got to hang out with them and give them treats, and one of them actually cuddled Kyle, basically. Like, so at the way that it works is everybody's sitting down because wolf dogs spook very easily. You shouldn't be like walking around. They don't like new people or people at all generally. So it's just a very calm environment where we're all sitting down, and one of the dogs came over and just flopped his head down on Kyle's foot. And he like had his little leg pressing against Kyle's leg, and every time Kyle would stop petting him, he would like tap, be like, no, keep doing that. It was the cutest thing ever. And I've actually seen a lot of photos on Google reviews of the same dog. Like, he clearly just is a very cuddly boy. His name is Yarrow. He was amazing. So we had a really good time hanging out with those guys, and then they took us into a second enclosure where there was wolf dogs that have like a higher percentage of wolf in them, and so they're a little bit more skittish. They're not as like they don't like talking to people they don't know, and so we basically just got to like observe them and throw treats to them instead of feeding them out of our hands. But it was so cool. And then we got to just walk around, and you get a wristband. You can literally like leave and come back as much as you want during the day. Like, you can just spend 8 hours at the wolf dog sanctuary if you want to, which is really cool. And yeah, it was like an 11 out of 10 experience. It was so enriching. As someone who just loves animals, was just like, oh, this is so wonderful. I took a lot of photos because they encouraged everyone. They're like, take a lot of photos and videos, and nobody else was. I was like, you guys are making a mistake. So I'll definitely have some photos and videos to put into the episode here because it was cute. It was epic, and it was really cool seeing how different they all look and stuff. Like, there was one that was named Nova, and he was like a big daddy wolf. He was all white, and he was like 95% wolf, I think. So he was really cool. He was my favorite. But yeah, it was just epic. It was really awesome. It was really fun. I feel like I've had a really good summer for what I've been able to with the time I have, you know? So I feel like I'm doing my best. And people will probably
a summer where you're moving, it's
tough.
not really about the summer. It's more about the moving.
I know, like
fitting in a bunch around it.
Every day I wish I was hopping into a lake, like more than anything. But it's just not convenient here, unfortunately. And there's just so much to do. But and the last thing I wanted to say is that I have been wanting to go to the zoo. I haven't done an epic zoo finale yet, but I will hopefully before I go. That's my hope. I have 3 days left to maybe go. So, yeah. And I did do a bookshop farewell tour, so we'll talk about that with our book haul shortly.
Well, actually, that might be our perfect segue. Should we jump and do a book haul?
Let's do it.
So it's been like we say, like 3 weeks since we were. Has it been more than that?
Gosh, I don't even know.
1, 2, 3. It has been at least a month. It's been a month.
Well, okay. I guess we got our vacation after all.
Crazy. I think it's been 4 weeks, or closer to 4 weeks than 3 weeks. Yeah. Anyhow, as you can imagine, we're bopping around. It's summer. We're going into some bookshops. We're buying some books. So I think you have 2 books for every one of my 1 books.
I do.
So that's a good balance, I think.
I think so. Okay. Well, I can start us off then if you like. So the first bookshop that I wanted to visit on my farewell tour was Shelf Life Books. Because as the people will know if they watch our episode where we went bookshop hopping, we didn't get to spend very much time there. And so I was really craving some more Shelf Life. I wanted to go when it was more relaxed and have a good time. And I did. I went in and I was like, okay, obviously we're moving, so I'm not trying to buy a ton of books, but if things pop out at me, I will pick them up. And Kyle actually picked these 2 books for me. And Kyle doesn't read. Kyle doesn't know a lot about books, so that he kind of just picked them almost randomly, but just because they looked cool, and they both ended up seeming really awesome, so I bought these 2 books. The first one is called 20 Minutes of Silence by Helene Bessette. Her last name is almost like your last name. And this is translated by Kate Briggs. This is a French book. And it sounds so cool. I'll just read a little bit off the back because it kind of explains it better than I could. Presented as an open inquiry in all its vacillations and packed with brutal revelations, this true crime story centers on the 20 minutes it takes for a well-to-do family to alert the doctor who lives next door that the father has been shot dead. In this high-octane drama, everything is subject to change, including the basic facts of the case. And it kind of goes on from there. So it's based on a true crime story, but I think it's been kind of novelized, and it sounds so stressful and awesome.
It really does.
And yeah, it's quite short. Like, it's only 150 pages and not a ton of writing on each page. So I'm really excited to just zip through this sometime when I'm in the mood for something kind of haunting, kind of spooky. But yeah, it was fun. I had never heard of this, so that was a fun, like,
what was it called again?
It is called 20 Minutes of Silence. And this is published by New Directions, actually. So I was like,
well, then it's cool.
It's automatically gonna be cool. I know, exactly. Whoa. Yeah, when I found out it was published by New Directions, I was like, say less. And then the second book that Kyle picked out for me is The Book of X by Sarah Rose Eder, which I had heard of, but didn't actually know anything about. She also wrote the book Ripe, which came out a few years ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And apparently this won a Shirley Jackson Award. Would you look at that? And this one sounds super, like, strange. Isn't that awesome? So it's got to be good.
Good for her.
Yeah. So this one, just the little tagline on the back says, a surreal exploration of one woman's life and death against a landscape of meat, office desks, and bad men. What is that all about? It's, like, super surreal and kind of weird sounding. It almost kind of reminds me of, like, Under the Skin a little bit. Like, it seems like there's there's something weird going on here, and so it's kind of like a surreal horror-ish book, and I'm really excited about it. Honestly, I was like, Kyle, you picked great. These are the exact type of books that I like, so good job.
That's really cool. Oh, I'm glad you got to go back there.
Yeah, it was a great last time to go.
I will start with this book, which is very random, but I'm very excited about, actually.
Okay.
It's called Marilyn and Her Books by Gail Crowther, and the subtitle is The Literary Life of Marilyn Monroe.
That sounds awesome.
So it does sound awesome, right?
That sounds like the perfect thing for both of us. We would both love that,
yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. So I like Marilyn Monroe, but I'm not a huge Marilyn Monroe fan. Yeah. I think that she's really interesting, and I think of her as a very tragic figure. Also, for some reason, social media is obsessed with showing me pictures of her when she went to Banff. Do you know about that trip that she did?
No.
She spent, I forget if she was filming there. I think she was filming there. She has a broken foot, which is, like, kind of iconic. She did a photo shoot with a Mountie, and she's just like it's just like this her Canadian moment. But, like,
I love that.
Years and years and years, I'm always seeing Marilyn Monroe in Banff.
That's crazy.
And I feel really attached to those images, actually.
I agree.
And whenever I see them, I'm like, there she is. But, like, obviously, she is beyond famous. She's infamous, really. She's just, like, everyone knows Marilyn Monroe. And while I've seen some of her movies and I like her generally, I wouldn't call myself a Marilyn Monroe fan. Yeah, I don't know enough about her. But how do I even explain this? Basically, we were in a restaurant and we saw this mural, this painting that had Marilyn Monroe in it. And it became this huge thing for that night with me and my friendship group. Yeah. And we kept talking about it. And then the next day, I saw this book in a bookshop, and it kind of felt like a sign, you know? It felt like a little spiritual sign. I was like, okay, no, wait, I'm interested. And it really reminded me of the Jane Austen bookshelf book that I'm reading. Of course, I'm sure people have made that connection as well, where it's just like not only looking at the person and their biography, but through the lens of what they read and what, like, the books that they loved. And it's just really a very beautiful book. The end pages are covered in pictures of the books that she owned. And it's not very long. It's like 260 pages, which I really like because I think this is a very specific angle. So you don't want to drag it out. You want to go crazy with that. But it says, time to the 100th birthday of Marilyn Monroe comes an examination into the literary life of the Hollywood icon and actor. She was, of course, briefly married to one of America's best-known playwrights, Arthur Miller, and met a number of other writers who moved in his literary world. But she also became acquainted with numerous authors independently, many of whom were fans of her films and keen to meet her. And anyways, it sounds really cool. Yeah. So I picked this guy up. I haven't looked into whether or not it's an audiobook. I'm sure it probably is. But I also feel like that would be a good audiobook. this kind of nonfiction, I feel like, works so well as
absolutely. I agree. Hardcore.
I'm excited about that find. Random, but
that's so. I love really random finds like that. Now I'm excited about it too. Okay. Yeah. Well, next up on my farewell tour, I went to Nocturne Books, which is the horror bookstore in Calgary that I have only been to once. So a lot of these bookstores I've been to many, many times and just wanted to like say goodbye to them. But with this one, I was like, I've really been meaning to go back there at least one time. And so I luckily was able to. Kyle and I went, and we had a great time. I actually got 4 books there. I went a little crazy, but it was just so exciting. I love that store because it's like, they have horror books. They also have mystery thriller. They have kind of like dark sci-fi fantasy. So they have like a good scope. They also have a bunch of classics. They have kids books and stuff. So they have a huge variety. And so anyway, I had a lot of fun browsing and decided to grab a couple of things I didn't know too much about or just was like intrigued by. So this first one is called You Should Have Left by Daniel Kellman, which is translated from the German by Ross Benjamin. And this one sounds really cool. It's about a screenwriter, his wife, and their 4-year-old daughter as they are renting a house in the mountains of Germany, and something is not right. So already intrigued by all of that. It's also very, very short. It seems like it's going to be eerie, kind of surreal perhaps, and I love the aspect as well of the main character being a screenwriter. So there's an in the biz aspect going on there, which is really cool. And the next book I got is A Fig for All the Devils by C.S. Fritz. And I love that. I think some of our listeners have recommended this to me. This one follows the Grim Reaper. Like the Grim Reaper is one of the characters, and it's about him kind of coming to this young boy who's like grieving for some reason. I don't know the full story, but he's grieving and he's going through something, and the Grim Reaper shows up and is like, hey buddy, how can I help? So it seems like it's kind of like not super like horrific horror. It's kind of more like horror light, kind of horror, hopeful horror maybe, if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a genre, but yeah, I saw that and I immediately had to grab it because I was like, yes, people have told me about this one. I know I need to read that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one I have very little to say, which is kind of perfect so you can keep going on your current haul. I got the paperback version of Driven by Susie Wolf.
You needed that.
I needed this, didn't I?
Yeah. It would have been silly for you to not buy that.
This, as you guys may remember, was an audiobook I listened to a couple of months ago, which is the memoir about Susie Wolf's life, who, as it says on the back, was the first woman to drive in a Formula One weekend in 22 years. Yeah. She talks about everything that she went through. She talks about the world of racing and her upbringing, and I really enjoyed the audiobook, and it was a perfect memoir for the that kind of sports memoir. Mm-hmm. And it's rare, but it does happen where you listen to an audiobook and you want to get the physical book for your shelf. Where you're just like, actually, I do want this one. And when I saw that it had come out in paperback, I was like, yep. So I ordered this one on Blackwell's because this is the oh my God, I just realized it has photos.
Oh my God.
That I didn't see with the audiobook version. Oh my God. She's so cute in her little go-kart.
Oh my God.
Yay.
I love that.
I didn't realize. Okay, that's so cool. I'll look at those after we record, but I'm glad to have this one on my shelves. That's awesome.
That is awesome. So yeah, continuing with my Nocturne books. So this next one I had never heard of, but immediately was like, I need it. It looks kind of scary. So it's called The Case Against Satan by Ray Russell. And this is actually a exorcism book that came out before The Exorcist and before Rosemary's Baby. And the moment I read that, I was like, say less. I love both of those books so much. I need to read this now. So I don't really know anything specific about it, but that's the vibe of that. And then the next one I got is a very popular book called Between Two Fires, an epic tale of medieval horror by Christopher Buehlman. And this, it came out, I think, in 2012 initially and was kind of just like a very under the radar type of book. And it recently has been reissued in this gorgeous edition, and I think has become very popular on TikTok. So it's had kind of like it's been brought back, but it sounds
resurgence.
Yes, it sounds so awesome. It has a foreword by Joe Hill, which I read the day I bought this book because I was like, tell me more, Joe Hill. And it just sounds so awesome. The design of this book is so beautiful, though. Like the end papers have all these spooky skeletons, and it seems just like an epic kind of like apocalyptic, almost like medieval horror journey. Like it's, that it's medieval, so there's going to be some messed up stuff, but I'm really, really excited to read it. I almost didn't buy it because it was quite expensive, and Kyle just said, do it, just do it. And so then I did it. And so now I own it. And I'm really, really excited.
That's awesome. Well, as part of all of the festivities with my sister-in-law visiting, I also forgot to mention my parents-in-law also visited.
Oh, nice.
Like they came separately. So my sister-in-law came to visit us for 10 days, and my parents-in-law came to visit for just a weekend, but they were kind of on their own trip.
Yeah, okay.
But they really wanted to go back to Lunenburg, where we got married.
Naturally.
Because it's been almost a year. So it's kind of funny that you brought up your anniversary thing, because they were like, we want to go back because it's been like a year. And so we were like, I'm always down to go to Lunenburg.
Yeah, why not?
So went back into the bookshop where I got married, where you've been, and I found 2 books. So those are my other 2 books that I bought. So the first one I haven't heard of, but it's called The Story of Your Life by Catherine Jesser Morton. And it is, the subtitle is How Social Media Shapes the Way We Experience Everything.
Heck yeah.
An eye-opening and intimate look at how social media shapes our entire lives. From the writer Gia Tolentino calls one of our greatest chronicles of the norms of American domestic life.
Wow.
It sounds great. Over the past 2 decades, platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok have revolutionized how we document and share information about our lives. Social media is where our history lives now. The author examines how these algorithm-driven platforms change not only how we share our experiences, but how we feel about the experiences themselves. Rigorous research, wide-ranging interviews, et cetera, et cetera. So
that sounds epic.
It does sound really good. I feel like there was a period of time where I was reading quite a few nonfiction books like this that were like about the internet and about how social media affects us. Mm-hmm. And I kind of got off of them for a little while. And now I'm a little bit excited to go back to thinking about that, but also thinking about AI. And like, I mean, thinking about here, it seems to be talking about the algorithm. So it's so funny. I think we've got a big problem in the culture. When we say AI, we mean like 800 different things.
I know, that's so true.
And so it's like, do you use AI? And it's just like, I mean, I go online and you can't Google anything anymore without Google AIing stuff. And it's and like when we say algorithm, the algorithm is an AI. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, what are we talking about? It's so tricky to figure out that term. Yeah. But anyways, I think she's talking about a lot about algorithms in this book, and I think that's really fascinating and kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
The amount of AI slop, just to take us on a detour here, Raeleen, I have the past few weeks, I feel like everyone is going to have this happen to their feeds in different times, depending on what communities you're a part of or whatever. But my feeds last month have gotten so much worse with AI crap. Or I've just noticed it more.
Yeah, I've definitely been seeing some.
I've also gone to a couple restaurants and the entire, like in person, and the menus are all AI. And
I just got a shiver down my spine for some reason.
Know!
That's really creepy. I don't need to know about that. I saw a sign yesterday that was for like a beauty shop or something, and Kyle and I just looked at it. We were like, that's the most AI image to ever AI, and it's just the face of your business. Okay.
Yes. I know. And like, God, it's complicated because I get that like a lot of these very small businesses that are maybe only owned by one person and has a team of 3 people have always wanted to have a more professional look but couldn't afford it. But it's just like, don't do it.
It hurts me.
But like, anyways, I just feel like my feeds have been so sloppy lately, and specifically Pinterest. Which I really like Pinterest, especially since I stopped using Instagram. Yeah. I kind of transitioned into using Pinterest a lot more because I'll like look for inspiration images for outfits or for house design. Yeah. Or the other day I was looking at garden design. Ooh. And I clicked on a thing and I was like, that's a fake garden.
Yeah, so just, I go like back. The crochet patterns and things have gotten out of control.
the quilting, like you click on a quilt pattern and it's not real, and it's just like, what? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's so out of control, and it's so dangerous, like, because we're not leaving. I feel like I'm not I'm glitching. I feel like I'm not living in reality anymore. Like, I'm online, I'm like, everything's fake, and I'm like, who posted this? Probably a bot run by another bot. It's all bots all the way down.
Yeah,
you know. And on the other hand, I'm not anti-AI fully, because like AI is making some insane medical advancements, and I feel like when we talk about when we talk about AI, we are, like I was saying before, we use the term so generally because it's new. I get it. It's new, and so we're not distinguishing between the different types.
Yeah.
But like, I can't be fully AI because the way that like it's helping medical advancements, I think, is really important and could help with a lot of things. Yeah. But then you look at that climate, and then you look at this, and you look at that, and you're like, oh my God. So anyway, all of that to say,
we're fine.
All of that to say,
we're happy. We're okay.
I need to start reading more about it.
Yeah.
I think that's always, for me, been a way to process and think and be thoughtful. And it can feel kind of stressful in a way because AI, for example, is moving so quickly that you're like, how can a book that was written 2 years ago and published a year ago still be topical? But that's the system we have. So I do think reading more about this stuff is important. And yeah. So I got this book. Thanks.
Hell yeah.
All right. Back to you, Ray. What do you got?
Okay. So the final bookshop that I visited on my farewell tour was Page's Bookstore. And I coupled this with a final trip to the Plaza Theater, which is right next door to it. I got Kyle to see Obsession. And it was so fun seeing it in that tiny theater there was quite a lot of people in there. And people were jumping. People were screaming. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So we did that, and then we zipped into the bookstore. I had a mission, so I just went in and picked up the book that I wanted to get. And that book is Heather by Caitlin Mullen. Have you heard of this one?
No.
It basically, the quickest way to describe this is that I feel like it's 2026's The God of the Woods. It's kind of a similar type of vibe, and a lot of people have been specifically recommending it if you like Tana French and if you like Liz Moore. And I'm like,
you like both of those?
I love both of those ladies. So
wow,
it's a small town detective story, reopening a cold case. It's like, sends shockwaves across generations. So it's the type similar. It's set in 1990, which is also fun.
Cool.
And it's woodsy. It's got a murder aspect, and it's spans generations, as it says. So I want to go into it as blind as possible, but I've just heard great things about this, and I've been hunting for something that is even similar in the slightest way to The God of the Woods, so I immediately knew I had to get this bad boy. And then the last book I got, I actually did not buy this. It was sent to me. It was a beautiful little surprise from our buddy Cameron over at Simon & Schuster.
Nice.
Look at this thing. It's
my God.
40th anniversary edition of It by Stephen King. It's gorgeous. It's massive. It has spooky images on the end papers.
Oh, that's cool.
And this was just a beautiful, beautiful surprise. And Cameron doesn't normally send me surprises. This was just something that he knew I wanted. And so he sent it to me. And I was
really nice.
so
Cameron's
thankful because of that. It was just very thoughtful. I felt very seen by this gift. And I just find it really funny that I had probably just packed up like 90% of my books the day before I grabbed this. And I was like, oh my God, where am I going to put this? But it's fine. I still, as you can see, I have a pile of books I still have to pack. So it's no big deal. But I don't think he's gonna fit on my bookshelves. I think I have to get a new bookcase when I get home. That's something my mom joked about, and I was like, that's actually not a joke. I actually think I do need that. They're full.
You do need that.
They're full. But yeah, so thank you for that. And I just feel like I have a really great stack of books now. And it's funny, I've been keeping them next to my bed as if I'm going to read any of them before I move. But of course I've had no time, but I'm like, I just want to read them so bad.
I feel like the final box of books is such a special moving part of moving.
That's true.
Where you're like, I am not quite ready actually to definitely not read that one.
Right?
Even though you can't read, you're way too busy. At the end of the day, you are so tired, you just want to go to bed. But like, I might read 6 novels actually. So
perhaps, I think after today I will narrow it down to the one book that I'm currently reading because there's no way I can read anymore. I think today's the day after this. But
That's scary.
Kind of bittersweet, but it's exciting at the same time. So
that is exciting.
Yeah, that's my haul. That's my haul, man.
Well, my final book is Kilmeny of the Orchard by Lucy Maud Montgomery. I found one. So this was actually also at Lunenburg Bound. And for everyone who doesn't know why we're so excited, it's because I have decided to try and collect all of the Lucy Maud Montgomery books that were published in these Cavendish Canadian editions. And this one has a little note written in the front. To Sheila from Dad and Mom, May 1948.
That's so sick.
It's so awesome. So I walked into Lunenburg Bound, and I know where they have the kind of antique section. I walk over, and this was front facing, and I said, and I grabbed it, and I was with my sister-in-law, and I said, Maureen, if this costs under $100, we are buying this. And I flipped it over, and it was $50, and I was like,
perfect.
Yes! Because
awesome.
It's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't care about them being perfect. I'm not looking for mint copies. Yeah. That would be a completely different tax bracket type situation.
Yes.
You'd be like, instead of spending like $50, I mean, one of the other ones I got for $20, and one of the other ones I've got, you know what I mean? Like, they've all been pretty reasonable. Mm-hmm. But if I wanted to get really like perfect ones, I'd be spending like $300 to $500 per book, and I'm like, that's a different type of activity.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? Actually, my mom recently asked me, "Do you have a first edition copy of The Great Gatsby?" And I was like, "Oh, Mom, you have no idea how expensive that would be." Yeah. I looked it up. It's at least like $100,000 or something like that. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry, but there's just no way.
I think that's a pretty special ask. But I wanted to show you this, which is now my 4 copies together.
Oh, I love them.
The collection is happening.
The Blue Castle Spine is my favorite.
I agree. The Blue Castle Spine is insanely good. Rilla of Ingleside doesn't have its like a plastic cover, and I want to get it one because all the other ones do, and they feel way more protected. But I'm loving collecting these. It's so fun because, like I say, like I'm casually looking online, and if I see one, sometimes I'll buy it. Mm-hmm. But it's also just fun to walk into a bookshop and be like, I found one.
You should send me a picture of the ones you have so that if I come across one, I'll know.
Oh my god,
what you've got.
You're right.
Because I'm always on the lookout. I'm always hunting.
You are. Okay, that's good to know. I got my minions out and about. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, should we talk about? That's all the stuff that kind of is a nice way to move from what we've been doing this summer and on those adventures. These are the books we've got. But now maybe let's talk about what we have read.
Yes.
What we finished. Do you want to start us off?
No. I thought about it genuinely for a second. I was like, dude, what do I want? I think you should go first.
That's awesome. Very well, I will. Okay. The first book that I finished since talking to you was Evenings and Weekends by Oisin McKenna. Oisin McKenna was born in Dublin and lives in London. He was awarded the Next Generation Bursary from the Arts Council of Ireland to write Evenings and Weekends, and it was developed with further funding from Arts Council England. Evenings and Weekends has been awarded a 2022 London Writers' Award, and in 2017, Oisin was named in the Irish Times as one of the best spoken word artists in the country. Okay, so I talked about this one in the last episode, and I finished it while I was in Newfoundland. And I had so much fun reading this book. I think partly I would have enjoyed any book I was reading in Newfoundland because I was just like I said, waking up in the morning and doing my little summer Monday morning reading. I'm like with my little bookmark and having my coffee and looking out on this beautiful view. So like it was a perfect reading situation. But not to discredit this book at all, because this was such a great read that I kept wanting to read it. And I actually had a couple of mornings where I was like, ooh, I'm going to start writing earlier today. And then I just didn't because I kept reading because I was like, this book is really good.
Yeah.
So the book it takes place over one weekend. And a couple of things are happening that weekend. First of all, it's a total heat wave, like maybe the hottest weekend in London. And all the characters are hot and sticky and emotions are running high because of that. Secondly, because of the heat wave, but also like because of other factors no one really knows, a whale has washed up on the shore of the Thames River there in London. And so it's like this little spectacle that's going on throughout the whole weekend. Like everyone keeps seeing pictures of the whale, or like one couple of characters drives by the whale on their boat or on their bikes. Do you drive a bike? Ride past the whale, or like another character will see the whale on the news. And so it's like this cool backstory that's kind of threaded throughout. Yeah. There's like this whale that's washed up and it's kind of grotesque. But then you have this group of characters who, there's kind of two generations. There's the like three main characters and then their parents, but everyone has their own things going on and everyone has very busy, complicated lives, and it's all about this weekend where tensions are running high, and basically you're at this point where all these people have been sort of keeping secrets from one another, and this is the weekend where the secrets all come out. Oh my
gosh, okay.
And, someone's pregnant. Someone has cancer. Someone is, like, closeted and wants to come out, but, like, kind of doesn't want to come out. And, like, all of these secrets are happening. And it was, if you like gossip, you would love this book. Okay. And I love gossip.
Yeah, I would love that.
Right? Like, I love when its characters are talking behind each other's backs and trying to, like, not tell the person, but then the person finds out and you're like, oh, God, no. It's, like, so stressful.
Yeah.
The heat of this book. This is definitely the hottest book I've ever read. It just felt like Oisin, who I learned how to pronounce the name correctly because it's an Irish name, like Saoirse or Aoife, where it's like an Anglo speaker that's not Irish could never guess what that was supposed to be.
Yeah, you got to figure that one out.
Yeah, I watched like 4 different YouTube videos where people were pronouncing it.
I do that every time.
I know, right? But yeah, so, and I'm sure I'm not getting it perfect, but anyways, Oisin has such a way of like perfectly describing the suffocating heat of London. And I think, it's similar in all cities and stuff, but people who have been on the tube when it's hot know that kind of heat, or how a city captures heat and the kind of shenanigans that the British people get up to when it's hot. And all of this, like, it just felt so claustrophobic. To then when I was looking into the author more and learning that he's a poet, and learning that he's also like a spoken word poet, I was like, this really makes sense, because the writing is really, really beautiful. And I feel like he had some gorgeous passages and stuff. And so it made sense to me that he was a poet as well. And because this is crazy that this is his debut.
Oh, wow. Yes. Sometimes they come out of nowhere.
They come out of nowhere. So anyways, I really enjoyed this book. In the end, it wasn't a perfect book for me. I felt like the first act was pitch perfect. The second act kind of dragged out a little bit. And then the third act, I felt like I would have had, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it finished in a way, which I think is part of it, right? It's just supposed to be a weekend.
Right, yeah.
But for me, it started a bit stronger than it ended. But I still thoroughly enjoyed my entire read of it. I super recommend it if people are looking for a literary fiction, contemporary read. It's beautiful. It was great.
I mean, it sounds great. Sounds like the perfect read for this time of year as well. Like when it's hot and humid.
Yeah.
When you're in the dog days, as you were.
In the dog
sounds perfect.
Days.
Wow.
What was the other book I read? Oh, yeah. I read Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, Volume 6. Alice Oseman was born in 1994 in Kent, England, and is a full-time writer and illustrator. She is the creator of the popular Heartstopper comic series, which is now streaming on Netflix as a live-action TV show, and of which she wrote and produced every episode. Alice is also the author of several YA novels, including Loveless, which was the winner of the YA Book Prize. This is exciting because it's the end of an era, but also because it was one of my anticipated releases of the year. And it was so fun to read. I read this in, I think, 2 hours. Like, it's big, but it's so fast.
You want to know something funny? I read that yesterday.
Read it. What?
Because as you can imagine, I'm moving, and I don't have time for anything that isn't a comic.
Yes. Co-review.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's so fun, then. We can review this one together.
Yeah.
It was, I thought, a really nice ending to the series because I feel like a huge part of the story is that they're teenagers. Mm-hmm. And clearly whatever's coming next, they're not teenagers anymore.
Right. Yeah, they're moving on.
So it kind of had to end here, in a way. Mm-hmm. What did you think of it?
I thought it was lovely. Like, every single volume of Heartstopper, I'm just like, like, it just is so nice. Like, there are trials and tribulations, there are some dark things that happen, but through all of it, there's so much love just, like, coming from all directions, and it's just so wholesome. And like the queer pride is everywhere in those books, which I really, really love. So like when you read it, you just feel happy, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very optimistic as well, of just like, yes, things get difficult, but you can always figure out a way out of them. And like, it does seem like every single time the solution is getting help from your friends / family.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really beautiful message to send. I was saying to Connor yesterday about it. I was like, I feel like when I read these, I'm really reading something that isn't from my generation, isn't for me. It wasn't meant for me. And like, I'm kind of just spectating in a way. So I do feel a lot of distance from it. Obviously the characters are like in this final one, I think 16 and 18. Yeah. So I'm 31. I obviously have very little to do with 16-year-olds. Yeah. And the farther I get away from that age, truly the harder I find it to read YA anymore. Like, I just don't, I don't relate to it. I don't, also like, being a teenager and a kid now is actually pretty different than what it was like for me. So I feel like there's just a lot of differences. So when I read it, it does feel like a different generation.
I agree with that. Like, I feel far away from it, which is why I never like, I love, like, I really, really enjoy those books, but I would never like say that they're my favorite or anything. Like, there's too much of a disconnect, I think. I agree with that.
I totally agree. And so I really love them and I enjoy them. And I guess I'm just mainly glad they exist.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because again, while we definitely had some queer books when we were teenagers, the amount of queer fiction available now is so unbelievably high compared. And like, we never had anything like this when we were teens.
No, I would have eaten that up when I was a teenager.
Yes, as a teenager, I think I would have been like absolutely obsessed with this. And as an adult, I'm just very appreciative and grateful. And like, if I have kids, I would give them this. Although, actually, there's a lot of sex in this one, and I would wait until they're teenagers. I was surprised. That actually was another difference. I was like, YA books did not have this much sex in them.
Whoa.
It just kept happening. It just kept happening, which I'm happy for them, but I was also like, wow, okay, this is happening again and again. But I guess, I mean, they're literally making out on the cover.
That's true. We should have seen it coming.
We really should have seen it coming. Yeah, okay, well, that was fun to get to review that with you. And for me, I got to check it off my most anticipated reads of the year. Actually, I will go do that now. What am I missing?
Garden, because it's not out yet.
That's it, right?
I think so.
Yes, it's just Garden. Wow. I'm doing good on my releases.
You nailed it.
I've got to read that one. Because if I don't, I would just be missing a slam dunk for no
Is it confirmed that it's
reason.
actually being published here now? Okay, I couldn't remember.
I looked into it the other day, and it's definitely coming out. It has covers, it has release dates, but it doesn't come out till, it's either October or November or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, okay, I've read 3 of my 4 most anticipated reads, which were Heartstopper, Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy, Gumshoe by Brenna Thumler, and Garden by Hiroko Oyamada.
That's funny. Both of us are 3 for 4. I feel like I kind of copied all of your lists because your list was so good. And I've just read all those same books as well.
Yeah, you're there. You've got to read Garden.
Yeah, we
will.
We
can do this together, man.
We will. We'll do it together for sure.
That's awesome. Okay, those are my 2 reviews. What about you?
Okay, well, I have 2 books to review as well. First up, The Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. The Eyes of the Dragon is a standalone fantasy novel which was first published as a limited edition slipcase hardcover in 1984 with illustrations by Kenneth R. Linkhauser. The novel would later be published for the mass market in 1987 with illustrations by David Palladini. The book features an evil magician, Flag, who also appears in The Stand and the Dark Tower series. For those who don't know, this is one of the books that was in my time capsule that I made for myself 2 years ago. I chose 8 books off my shelves that I just wanted to put away and kind of forget about for a little while so that I could open up the box and be excited and be super excited about them. And I made a video for the Patreon about all this, so I won't go into all of the details, but Ariel was actually the one who helped pick this book as the one that I would read from the box because we opened it up together. And I did a reading vlog, so that is over on the Patreon now. And but as for my review of this book, first of all, thank you for picking it for me. I'm glad that you did that.
Ooh.
Secondly, I did not like this book at all.
Crap.
But it was a learning experience, and it is now one Stephen King less on my shelf. So this book, it started out with so much promise. You know, I was really excited. I haven't really read a lot of his fantasy because I haven't read the whole Dark Tower series, which is kind of his primary fantasy. But this one is a standalone, and it follows a king whose name is Roland, and he's kind of like obviously just like the last in his line of kings and things, and he's just like not that extraordinary. Like he's like, oh, I killed a dragon one time, but that's kind of all I've ever done. So he's just like this mediocre king, which I thought was really interesting. But he has 2 sons, and so the story is really about his 2 sons, and so the older one, of course, is going to succeed him as king, and there's a younger brother, and there's this evil magician who really doesn't want the older brother to become the king. He has this plan to like cause chaos in the world, and he really thinks that the younger brother being king is what will help accomplish that. And he's like this ancient guy who's been around for 1,000 years. Like I said in my info bit, he's in some other Stephen King books, so I don't really know how the whole timeline works. But there's this evil magician guy, and so I'm like, okay, that's a good setup. Let's see where it goes from there. I just really did not connect with the writing style on this. It's told in a really weird way. Like it's supposed to be like a storyteller is telling like a fable kind of thing. Okay. But it's for the first half of the book, I was like, who is talking right now? Like it was very unclear because he keeps talking about himself in first person. He's like, oh yes, I remember that guy, and I'll tell you about that guy later. And I just didn't really like that. It felt really strange to me, and I was just annoying. Yeah, I just found it really annoying, honestly. It wasn't my type of writing. But there was this other weird little things where I'm like, Stephen, this is not your best. Like the writing was kind of cringy at times where I was like, I just don't like it. So that aspect really brought me out of it. I, of course, at one point switched to the audiobook because I was trying I'm moving, I'm packing, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm just going to start listening to the audiobook. And I also feel like the audiobook specifically is not very good. Like there was a lot of there's a lot of like weird audio effects, and it was just like it kind of just turned me off, and I was like, I just couldn't wait for it to be over. It was a little bit of a nightmare, but I did get a lot of packing done while listening to this. I did play Monopoly quite a lot on the PlayStation. So back on that grind. But all in all, it was an experience, and I got through it, and it's all okay. But it might be my least favorite Stephen King book I've ever read. Although it would have been a DNF if I hadn't been making a reading vlog. So I feel like I'm being harsher on it because I was forced to finish it. But it is what it is. Now I'm just like excited and confused about the Dark Tower series. I'm like, am I going to like those? We will see. It remains to be seen. We will see. But the second book I read was better. It was much better. So I'll get into that. I read Reading the Room, A Bookseller's Tale by Paul Yamazaki. Paul Yamazaki has been the principal buyer at City Lights Bookstore, the legendary San Francisco bookstore and publisher founded by Lawrence Ferlinghetti and Peter Martin for more than 50 years. A champion for national and global literature, writers, publishers, and independent bookstores, Yamazaki was the recipient of the National Book Foundation's 2023 Literarian Award for Outstanding Service to the American Literary Community. He has mentored generations of booksellers across America. This is a wonderful, tiny little book. It's under 100 pages. And I really enjoyed it, but I just want to tell you that it took me almost 2 weeks to read this because of moving, which is a really scary thought.
That's really funny.
That's where I'm at, okay? I just want everyone to know where my mental state is at. It took me very, very long to read this because I would just read like a few pages before bed each night. Yeah. And each night I was like, oh, wonderful. And then I'd go to sleep. So honestly, it was a good experience. I'm glad that I got to spend so much time with this tiny little book. It's kind of formatted like interviews. So basically the people who like helped put this book together had conversations with Paul, and they put it together into a book and published it. So it's this cool little thing. And he is just like so wise, and like I just want to be him. He's like this old man who runs a bookstore, and I'm like, yes, I want to be you, Paul. That's seems like a really cool guy, and reading this book really made me want to open a bookstore, which was funny. I was like, whoa, it's doing something to me. It's making me want to do all these things. There's also a lot of like book recommendations in here, because every now and then they'll be like, tell us about your favorite books. And then he goes on this big like chat about a book that he loves that I've never heard of. And so I'm like, okay, adding books to my list. So it was just like a very lovely book. If you love bookstores, like it goes beyond loving books, I think, to like really, really want to read this book. I feel like if you love bookstores and like what they are and what they, you know, give the world and stuff, I highly recommend this. I know you own this. Obviously, you're the one who got this first, but I'm like, you got to read this.
That's so cool though, because
it was awesome.
Obviously I bought it, but I haven't read it yet. And so the fact, and like I'd never heard of it before. Yeah. So to have you then read it and recommend it back to me, I'm like, okay, great.
You got to get on that. Yeah.
I own that niche little book. That's sick. I'm really glad that I know exactly what you're talking about, where you're like, even though this should have been a faster read or whatever, I still it was the perfect thing at the perfect time.
It helped me through what I was going through, and it gave me a little bit of happiness at the end of each stressful day. So it was just lovely, and I want to thank Paul for that.
All right, well then our final act here is to talk about what we're currently reading.
Oh my god, I forgot about that part.
Well,
it's exciting.
I haven't listened to my audiobook in a month.
Okay.
Because while you are kind of heads down packing and doing work, I've been very, very social.
Yes.
When the entire time I was in Newfoundland, I was with my brother and my husband. And then the last 11 days I've been with my sister-in-law, and just like other people have always been around for the last month.
You cannot listen to an audiobook under those circumstances.
No. And so there've been a couple of moments where we've read, but I wouldn't like put on headphones, because that's a little, that's antisocial, right? To be like, anyways, I'm going to put on my headphones now. I gotta go. And so I just haven't. So I'm actually so excited to get back to my audiobook, which is Jane Austen's Bookshelf. Mm-hmm. I really am looking forward to that. Also, and this is scary to say out loud, but the Jane Austen Festival is not a month away.
Oh.
And I'd love to finish that before then. So that is on the docket. The other one that I read a little bit more of, but not that much, but that I'm also really looking forward to getting back to, is The Summer Book by Tove Jansson. I think that if I don't finish that this summer, this will become a mashed potato book for 6 years. Yeah. So
I know what you mean.
Really want to finish this one, and it's kind of the one that I've had next to me whenever I think I might read and then I don't, but then I do want to go back to this one. The third book I want to talk about, I'm like, should I even bring it up? Maybe I shouldn't, but I want your advice.
Okay.
I have, I don't know, I think I've talked about this before, but I'll show it on screen. I have my swim log. Have I talked about my swim log to you before?
Maybe, but I forgot. But
I keep a swim log. I had one that I made myself, like a little booklet, and then I was like, I'm going to upgrade to a little book. This is a Lechturm little book.
Love those.
Every time I go for a swim, I log my swim.
That's amazing.
And I have a little photo printer, so I will, if I happen to take a picture of my swim, I'll put in the swim. So this is from a swim with Rosianna. This is from a swim with my mom. This is a swim. These are from when I was in Newfoundland. So I just log all my swims. Okay. I love swimming in the summer, and I think this summer I've gone swimming outside 6 or 7 times. So that to me, I mean, it's good. Not great though. I feel like August is going to be a big swim month for me. So I think maybe you already know what I'm about to hold up. Swimming Studies by Leanne Shapton.
Yep.
One of my biggest mashed potato disasters. Burnt potatoes. Or fallen potatoes. I don't even know what it's worse than mashed.
Yeah. They've been mashed and almost thrown away in the trash, but they just missed the trash can. They're still in your house.
So, did you gift me this?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was like, that's what I remember. But
we did a sports exchange once, I think, or something like that.
Something like that.
Something weird like that. I got a gymnastics book from you. I think it was around the same time. Maybe not, though. I don't know.
We give each other a lot of books.
Yeah.
Okay. So Raeleen gave me this book, and it is my perfect book. It's a little pretentious. No, I'm kidding. It's like a slightly experimental book about swimming. Mm-hmm. And it's like a memoir about competitive swimming, but like the author, Leanne Shapton, is also a visual artist. So there's sketches and like little drawings and photographs and stuff in here as well. But also, she was a competitive swimmer when she was young, but then left competitive swimming because it was really toxic for her, and then had to kind of rebuild her relationship to swimming. And now she does like amateur swimming like me. So it's like all of these things are things I love. And I read half of it, literally like almost exactly half of it. I loved it, and then put it down and never finished it. And I have been meaning to finish it for like 3 years or something stupid.
Yeah.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood. You gotta strike when the iron's hot.
You do.
And I'm in the mood to read this book. Do I start over? Or do I keep going from the halfway point?
Ooh.
I vaguely remember what happens. Like, obviously it's a memoir and it's like sketches and so it's not exactly like a beginning, middle, and end type book. So I don't think it'll matter if I remember the first half perfectly. I could probably just go into the second half and be fine. But it's obviously not the full that's not the ideal reading experience.
Yeah, because like what if you love that second half, but you're like, but the first half is a blank. The first half feels empty. Do I love this whole book or do I just love the second half?
I know. I don't know. What do you
think? I
think
think the fact that you're asking the question means you need to start over from the beginning.
Oh, crap.
That's my advice to you. If you feel like you're not sure, and I feel like it's probably not a slow read because of all the pictures. Like I feel like it'll be easy to catch up.
This is why it's weird that I stopped it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty quick read. It also because it's like nonfiction, chatty about your life kind of thing. So it's not like dense.
Yeah. I think you should start over and you should do it at the beach. That's my full prescription for you.
That is what I've been thinking. I want to get some cool photos for our Instagram of like near water with the book.
It needs to be near water for sure.
Okay. I appreciate your thoughts. I'll see what happens. I'll obviously report back.
That's fair.
I think probably what will happen is I'll start it over. And then if I'm like, you know what? No, this is going to stop me from reading. I'll just skip ahead.
Yeah.
But if maybe I'll be like, okay, wait, yes, I'm remembering and back
I think you should at least try. And then, if you feel like you're good, then of course skip ahead. That makes a lot of sense to me.
So that's kind of what I'm currently reading. What about you?
Okay, well, I'm only currently reading one thing right now because I have enough going on without trying to read more than one book at once. And this is going to be crazy. What I'm about to show you. I'm reading Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke.
You're trying to steal all my reads.
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I am. What about that? What are you going to do about it? This was one of
You're too far away for me to do anything about it.
You can start reading it too if you want, and then we can talk about it next time. So I just started this a couple nights ago. I am only on page 70, so I'm still pretty early days. And so far, I would say it's interesting, but a little slow, surprisingly.
Okay.
Because the way it's told, like, she is in the modern day for maybe 30, 40 pages, and then she gets yoinked back into the past.
Right.
But there's a lot of flashbacks to like her days in college and stuff. So you start out the book not really knowing that much about her before this crazy thing happens, which I thought we were going to maybe get more background before the thing happens, but it's kind of interspersed. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just kind of like playing catch up, trying to figure out who Natalie is. But yeah, for those who don't know, she is a influencer who has like 8 million followers on Instagram. Like she's very, very, very popular.
She couldn't give me 1 million of those, could she?
Maybe just a little. And yeah, she's like a trad wife influencer. So she like literally her kitchen has been specially made so that all the the microwaves are hidden and the ovens are hidden. There's no dishwashers in sight because she wants her house to look like it's from the olden times but be modern. Like she's a very fake kind of person, which makes her an interesting character, I think. And she's now been yoinked back to 1855. And it's funny because the house that she lives in is actually from the 1800s, but it's just been renovated so many times. So it kind of is like a cool parallel where she's like living in the same house, but how it used to look. And her family looks a little bit wrong. Like everybody's there, but they're just a little bit not right. So it's kind of like a uncanny, like spooky thing. So it's
like
interesting.
A little bit like Coraline. Like it's like a different family.
A little,
but the same family.
It's giving Coraline a little in that way, like where people just like they look like themselves but not quite, and so like they're not actually her husband and they're not actually her kids, but so it is quite spooky, and I'm still very excited to keep reading. But I just want it to kind of like I need something to hook me first. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited though.
Well, with that, we have come to the end of this episode. I feel like part 1 of summer was the build up to it. And I like did a lot of fun things and started reading. The second part of summer, where I thought I was going to read a lot, was just crazy hectic and busy. But I think we're in the denouement. Dare I say, the decrescendo. This is the closing of summer. You're going to finish your move.
Yes.
And you're going to be able to just relax. I'm going to be able to not go anywhere for like a couple of weeks. Home. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm going to be able to just read. So I predict that our reading is going to ramp up.
I love that prediction. And I think I agree with you. Like the moment I get back and things have been like mostly unpacked, I seriously want to spend a lot of time at lakes. And when I'm at a lake, I want to read as well as swim.
Exactly.
So that's my hope. If I haven't gone swimming at least once by the next time we talk, come and get me and give me a slap.
Because we said we wanted to do reader summer where we read a lot.
And I really want to. I really
want to too. I think that we weren't realistic about what was coming up. Well, also it's hard to predict, but now I see what's coming ahead, and I think we're going to have a big update next time. So
I love it.
There you have it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. As always, we're now going to go and record our Patreon mini podcast. This week, it's the Question Vase, where we answer questions people have submitted. Always a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching this one or listening, wherever the hell you are. We hope you're having a really fun summer. We hope you enjoyed your dog days this summer, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.